Hey, so we all know what adultery is. We know that adultery is when a person that is married is sleeping with someone other than who they are married to, when they're having sex with someone other than who they are married to. I mentioned that because while we know what adultery is, I don't think we actually know what spiritual adultery is. Do you know what spiritual adultery is? Do you think you know what spiritual adultery is? God had a lot to say, a whole lot to say about being unfaithful, about unfaithful Israel, unfaithful Judah. He had a whole lot to say about it. And the sad thing about everything that God had to say about unfaithful Israel and Judah is that today we don't understand that He's talking to us today. People think that they're faithful because they're attending a church service still. You're in a building going through the practices. You think you're faithful because you're still going. You're faithful. But what is God saying? What is God saying? What is God saying when you're faithful in incorporating practices into the worship of Him that He does not approve of? What is God saying when He's sending out and causing people to send out all these warnings about these various religious practices, religious pagan practices? That's what I meant to say. About these various pagan practices. What does God say when He's sending out, He's causing people to understand this stuff, and He's causing people to speak this stuff and to share this stuff, and He's sending this warning out? But you're saying, that's not what I mean when I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, come on now. What did God say to His people, His own people, back in the day before we ever came on the scene, or our parents ever came on the scene? What did God say? What did God use Jeremiah to say? I've been posting a lot Jeremiah chapter 7, Jeremiah chapter 44. In chapter 7, where God told Jeremiah, He said, you see what they doing? Don't pray for them. He said, don't pray for them. He said, if you do pray for them, and this is Jeremiah chapter 7, God says, if you pray for them, I'm not going to listen to you. They doing what they want to do. They're not even paying attention. I'm sending these warnings in Jeremiah chapter 44. That's what the people said. I've been doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this. I am working on a writing right now. I'm almost done. I would say I'm about halfway through, maybe. I'm almost done. The writing is called Breaking Up the Fallow Ground, exposing things that has been deeply rooted. And I thank God for this information. I thank God for what He caused to be revealed to me yesterday. It's 1:51 a.m. now, so I could officially say yesterday. I thank God for what He caused me to come to understand yesterday. You see, for the past 2 days, I had been, or 3 days now, I have been working outside in the front of the house. We're breaking up ground, pulling up old weeds and roots, and like chopping roots that are like really thick, chopping them, and you know, we're doing some work out there, and when it's done, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be ready for the plants that we intend to put in the ground. I mentioned all that to say this. it does not get past me that at a time when my focus was on the outside of the house and the grounds, that God would cause this to be revealed. And yet here's something else. Here's another way from the Old Testament all the way to Revelation that he is saying to us to repent, turn around. But here's something else, and this kind of was the scariest thing for me, which is what caused me to do these videos. And like, I take a break in between working on this post, so that, you know, because it's a lot, I'm taking a break in it. But the scariest of all that I was shown yesterday, the scariest was when I read what King Jesus had to say in Revelation chapter 2, verse 21. He was talking to the church of Thyatira, and what he said to them, to the angel of the house, to the one who was spiritual, he said to them, he said, I gave her a chance to repent. She didn't. I gave her a chance. Every single day that we wake up, I haven't been asleep yet, so but every single day that we wake up is another opportunity that he has given to us, because he could have actually stepped in and destroyed everything already. Like, the world is a hot mess, this world that we live in. But God promises that nobody who belongs to him, he will leave behind. And so he's patient with us. And for the rest of us who love the Lord, he tells us to be patient also, to patiently wait, to not give up, to not give out, to wait, you know, wait in expectation, to patiently endure. That's what he tells us, patiently endure. And what are we waiting for? We're waiting patiently because God sees somebody. I'm not going to say who. I'm definitely not going to say you, because I don't want to label, and I have no right to label like that. So I'm saying somebody. He sees somebody who has not yet given their life to him, but he knows that they will. So he waits. He's waiting. His promise is to not leave anyone who belongs to him. As a matter of fact, I read in the Gospels where Jesus said that it is his will to do what the will of the Father is. And the will of the Father is that he loses no one that is given to him. No one, right? So I like how Jesus says that he will leave the 99 to go after the one that's lost. In that time that Jesus is going after the one that's lost, that is more opportunity for us to bring our own lives, into alignment with God's will. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. So there are things that we're doing that we should not do. Period, point blank. And every day we wake up is another opportunity for us to crucify our flesh more, so that we can do what God's words say. Every day. Every day. For that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. And I wanted to drop that in your ear. Spiritual adultery. We who call ourselves Christian, this is not for the world, because the world is not married to Christ. The world is not the bride of Christ, okay? But we who have identified ourselves as being Christian, who say that we love the Lord, who call ourselves Christian, we are the bride of Christ. We're married to Christ. So we don't want to be guilty of committing spiritual adultery. That is something that we need to all personally, individually look up. All of us, we need to look it up. We need to dig into that individually and make sure that in everything that we're doing, we are following truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no lie, no deception in him. So we need to examine everything, every area of our lives. All right, bye.